The problem of establishing a perfect civic constitution, the ideal government, is dependent upon the problem of lawful external relations among states, and cannot be solved without a solution of the latter problem. Hence, a return to his cosmopolitanism. Consider, it was asocial antagonisms that produced the need for society in the first place. Asocial antagonisms among individuals. The same relation we find among individuals relative to the society could be found among states relative to the international order, where we conceived of individuals put in the place of governments, nations. So the same needs that created lawful civic justice among men can be seen in the relationship between nation-states. Now, the equivalent of a lawful civil society among individuals for states is obviously a global nation, or a global League of Nations. Kant, again, was visionary here, and this is part of the cosmopolitan charm of the Enlightenment. Kant actually worked up a plan for a League of Nations, for United Nations. It was about 14 points, and guess who read it? Woodrow Wilson. That was where the League of Nations came from. He included in it provisions, self-determination of people, democratic republics, freedom of the seas. All of the principles that we think now inform our best hopes for international order date at this moment. And Kant sees that we cannot solve the problem of a civic constitution for each individual state until there's a global order. And he's quite right. Because if there is not a global order, you may have the perfect civic constitution, and you may be quickly overrun by other nations and find that constitution destroyed. And I quote here, in a League of Nations, his phrase that Wilson coined, in a League of Nations, or Wilson used, even the smallest state could expect security and justice, not from its own power and by its own decrees, but only from this great League of Nations, from a united power acting according to decision reached under the laws of the united will.